Donald Trump in the headlines again. The latest, the most recent one that just seems to have popped in the last few hours is that the nudie pictures of his wife Melania that were taken in 1995, for which she was paid coming to the United States as a model, apparently happened when she was here on a visitor visa. In other words, she was an illegal immigrant. It's getting very interesting. Phyllis Schlafly was one of the first people to endorse Donald Trump, a conservative speaker, author, and founder of the Eagle Forum. EagleForum.org is her website. You can tweet her at Phyllis Schlafly, SCHLAFLY, or at Eagle Forum. And Mrs. Schlafly, welcome back to the program.
Good morning, Tom. Good to talk to you.
Good to have you with us. You are arguably one of the major founders of the modern-day conservative movement. And, carrying on the mantle, the torch of William F. Buckley et al. And I understand that you supported Donald Trump. I'm a little baffled by that. This is a guy who had 3 wives. That's not family values. He had an affair with his second wife on his first wife, and et cetera. His third wife looks like she was an illegal immigrant, to use his phrase. And he supports abortion and gay rights. What am I missing?
Oh, well, I supported Ronald Reagan ultimately in 1980, although originally I thought he wasn't the true conservative. A lot of us thought Phil Crane was the true conservative. But at any rate, we've reconciled to Reagan, despite his handicaps, and he had several handicaps, but he turned out to be the greatest president of the 20th century, and I'm proud to have been supporting him when he won.
Yeah, he was also divorced and remarried. You are speaking out explicitly against Paul Ryan, and Donald Trump is refusing to endorse him. He's facing a primary challenger in the name of Paul Nehlen. Tell us about that.
Well, I think now that we have a nominee, I think it's the obligation of everybody to support the Republican nominee, unless you really secretly want Hillary Clinton.
Well, I actually do, but that's okay. Keep going.
Well, you're probably hiding that from your friends.
No, I'm not, actually. I mean, you and I agree on some things, like trade and judicial review, but, basically I'm a Democrat and you're a Republican. So, but, I think it's nice that we can have rational, reasonable, honest conversations with each other.
Yes, it is. But we had an election, and Trump won.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a Republican, you ought to support the Republican nominee. And I really don't have any patience with the Republicans who are withholding their support
of Donald Trump. Well, what about Paul Ryan? This guy is Speaker of the House. He's arguably the most powerful Republican in the United States right now. Perhaps Donald Trump is more so, but that could be that's kind of a pundit discussion. But Paul Ryan is the standard bearer for your party, isn't he?
Well, he hasn't done a very good job. We elected a Republican Congress twice, and we didn't get any changes.
Well, that was John Boehner, wasn't it?
It was, and we got rid of John Boehner.
Uh-huh.
But I think we could do better than Paul Ryan.
So, I've heard from people. Actually, I had a fellow on my TV show last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, who writes for Breitbart. And he said, there's no way that Paul Ryan is going to lose to this guy because Paul Ryan is from Janesville. He's 5 generations in that area. The people there know him well. He brings home the bacon.
Is for him.
I'm sorry?
And the establishment is for him.
Yes. So what are conservatives in your mold? The kind of old-fashioned, solid.
Well, if you've heard the choice down an echo, you know that I think the establishment is a big danger to our country. They're the ones who think they are divinely appointed to pick our candidates, and they've given us a bunch of losers. And we don't want control by the rich establishment. And so they are very much for Ryan, and we think we need a change.
Does it not concern you that Paul Nehlen, Paul Ryan's opponent, and many others within the Tea Party are basically, they're there because of money from a couple of billionaires, the Koch brothers and their network, and they're being supported, or the Tea Party was actually kind of came about as a result of millions of dollars being invested by Americans for Prosperity and other parts of the Koch brothers network, that they're dancing to a tune which is not that of the American people either. It's the billionaire class.
Well, it does concern me. Yes, it does. And I really thought that Supreme Court decision that allowed people to put $1 billion into political campaigns was a mistake.
Buckley versus Vallejo and Citizens United, you mean?
Citizens United.
Yeah. Well, another area where you and I agree. This is so. What are you encouraging Republicans to do about Paul Ryan?
Well, I'm encouraging them to let their representatives know that they want to change in the management of the Republican Congress. Mm-hmm. But I'm not doing any more than that.
Yeah. Do you see this the Paul Ryan? Also, Donald Trump is not endorsing Kelly Ayotte or John McCain. This seems to be potentially endangering the Republican control of the Senate, which, again, I'd say is fine with me. But does that concern you?
Yes, it all concerns me. I'm very interested in politics, and I want the Republicans to carry out the wishes of the American people. And I think they were clearly demonstrated when they nominated Trump.
Well, the American people, overwhelmingly oppose these trade deals. Both Donald Trump is opposed to them, and now Hillary Clinton has come out in opposition to them.
Well, that's a surprise.
Yeah. Well,
because she supported them all along.
I understand
and I think
that.
The trade deals have all been a disaster for our country. I remember one of my relatives said it's going to create 30 million new jobs. Well, it did, but they were in South Korea.
Right, and China, and yeah, right. I'm with you. But these
we want only trade deals that benefit the United States.
Except every single one, with the single exception of permanent normal trade relations with China, which wasn't the kind of trade deal that all these others are. It doesn't have investor-state dispute settlements and things. So every single one of these trade deals has been supported ever since the 1980s, has been supported by a majority of Republicans and opposed by a majority of Democrats. Aren't you lining up on the Democratic side of this issue?
No, it's just I'm opposing the big money side of the issue. And big money wants the free trade so they can create jobs overseas and bring in cheap labor. And we don't want that. We want jobs for Americans.
But Donald Trump just hired 74 people for his Mar-a-Lago estate, all of them on H-1B visas, mostly from Europe, because it's very fashionable, of course, to have somebody with a European accent bringing you your gin and tonic. Isn't he a hypocrite?
No, he's not a hypocrite. He's for real.
Then why would he do that? Why would he hire foreign labor to,
Well, that's a small percentage of the people he hires.
I see.
And I think Trump is the one who's going to really kick the establishment. And if you've read A Choice Not an Echo, you know why I endorse Trump.
Yeah.
The establishment is the problem.
Phyllis Schlafly. Mrs. Phyllis Schlafly, the conservative speaker, author, and founder of the Eagle Forum. EagleForum.org is the website. You can tweet her at Phyllis Schlafly, at Phyllis Schlafly. Mrs. Schlafly, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Always good talking with you.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.